Happy Wednesdays con Wilma Loves Bug. Thanks for coming back to my channel. I've missed y'all. I'm glad we spent some time last week. I'm so happy we're back this week. As always, like, share, subscribe, engage, comment, give me your feedback, give me your book recommendations, put me on, child. I don't need an excuse to get a new book, but I'll still get a new book. So before we get into it, make sure you like, share, and subscribe and engage. And thank you for spending some of your Wednesday con Wilma. This week, we are going to get into all of my bookish gifts that I received for my birthday. Ow! Shout out to Aquarius season in full effect. Guys, I love being Aquarius. Like, we're some amazing little weirdos. And I love that for me and the rest of us. Like, you should be so happy to have one in your life. Like, heart that for us and you. Half heart because you're supposed to be making the other heart, you know? Yeah, okay. Let's get into it. I had a good old time this weekend. I had some friends and family come out and celebrate with me. And mind you, terrible weather. I live on the East Coast. It was nuts, but they still came on, they checked, and we spent a really, really good time. And I got some really, really good gifts. I'm so happy to just have received their time because that to me is the real gift. Um, I have friends who do real shit, who are real parents, who have all types of things. So anytime you spend some time with me, I truly appreciate that quality time because you could be doing anything, spending it anywhere, and you chose to spend some time with little old me and you can't get that back. So, with that being said, let's get into some of the books that I received. Y'all, I got it. I got the Chain Gang All Stars. So I actually received two copies of this from two different friends, and thank God they have. Hopefully, I won't hear that. That's my husband coming through the garage. But I received two copies, and thank God that they put in a gift receipt. So I was able to exchange one out, but I'm so happy that they saw my last video and was like, "Oh yeah, you seem so enthusiastic about that book, so I wanted to gift that to you." So, Chain Gang All Stars, we got to put that on the TBR cart. We're gonna get into it. Also, look how cool, if you can even see it. A friend of mine gave me the little book clamp thingy. Let me see if it's in direct for my birthday, and then it says, "From the Library of Wilma LeBron." How cool. How freaking cool. My next book, oh my gosh. First of all, before we get into the book, look at this bag. Do my friends know me or do my friends know me? Because this is such a cute freaking bag. I'm keeping it forever and ever and ever. But this friend gifted me the Chain Gang All Stars as well, so that's the one that I exchanged. And then they also gifted me Men Who Hate Women: From Incels to Pickup Artists: The Truth About the Extreme Misogyny and How It Affects Us All by Laura Bates. This was also on my what did we call it? Because that was a tongue twister for me. Birthday book wish list. I think that's what we landed on. This really intrigues me. As y'all know, I've been reading Defectors by Ola Ramos. I'm finalizing that up to put that video together, and it piqued a lot of other interest as to why certain groups decided that that man is who is supposed to lead us from this country, and a lot of answers to a complex problem is never simplistic. There's always so many pieces to it. And so, yes, we can look at the Latinos who voted that way as one space, but then there's also this undercurrent of folks who really look at women as subservient and not worthy and wanting to go into this conservative viewpoint, and the overthrown and overtaken of what feminism really means, because feminism really just means the autonomy to make your choice. You want to be a traditional wife, God bless you, that's your choice, but if my choice is different, I should also have the agency and autonomy to do so. And why would that bother you? Same thing with like being pro-choice. Like if my decision for my uterus is that, and that's not something you want to exercise for your uterus, why does it bother you? Why does it matter? I know for me, I've always said this: I never want to make that decision, right? However, I want that option available for anyone else. Just because I never want to make that decision doesn't mean I want to take that away from the next woman or young lady. And recognizing that not everybody lives in the few privileges that I have. Not everybody experiences those, and I don't want to. I don't want the next woman to have less than me. And that to me is what I believe feminism is to be. But either way, this definitely goes into a lot of the in-making of incels, and that's always been a very interesting subculture to me. Minority, maybe not subculture, but minority group within men of like what I know of them is that like they are celibate or they believe they're celibate involuntarily, which is also a weird thing because like why would you anyway, I can't wait to get into it because I'll start rambling on about this, but I can't wait to get into it. It's pretty hefty, but I definitely want to get into the pages, and thank you again, Diane. Also, my friends are coming through with the gift bags because happy birthday, Your Majesty. Come on. Come on. So this particular friend got me the All Star chain gang All Stars. They also got me a Barnes and Noble gift card, and so I was able to exchange the other copy that I had, and I got us the Reformatory. I didn't think it was this thick, Jesus. But I definitely wanted. It really, really did intrigue me. And this is the one where the young boy goes back to this school and has to like fight for injustice for the living and the dead. So it says Greystown, Florida, June 1915. So y'all know I love a good historical fiction, and it has some horror, spooky elements. 12-year-old Robbie Stephens Jr. sentenced to 6 months at the Greystown School for Boys, an institution for kicking the son of the largest landowner in town in defense of his older sister Gloria. So begins Robbie's journey further into the terrors of the Jim Crow South and the very real horror of the school they call the Reformatory. Robbie has a talent for seeing ghosts or haints, but what was once a comfort for him after the loss of his mother has become a window into the truth of what happens at the reformatory. Boys forced to work to remediate their so-called crimes have gone missing, but the haints Robbie sees hint at worse things. Through his friends Redbone and Blue, Robbie is learning not just the rules but how to survive. Meanwhile, Gloria is rallying every family member and connection in Florida to find a way to get Robbie out of there before it's too late. The Reformatory is a hallucinatory, haunting, terrifying, and moving work of fiction, historical fiction, written as only award-winning author Tenerife. Oh, hold on, I don't want to mess that up. Tenerife do could by piercing together the life of the relative of her family never spoke of and bringing this tragedy of those and so many others are infamous for the dozier school of boys to light in this riveting novel. And that quote is by S.A. Cosby. We've read some of his works before, All Sinners Bleed, and as well as Razor Blade Tears. So I got that. So I exchanged that one out, and then I was able to get I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harper. And this is the post-apocalyptic of 39 women living in an imprisoned cage. They're watched over by guards. They have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time. And then soon they'll start seeing like what survival means and what the world remains of so to speak. So this is very interesting. Want to get into that, and it's pretty looks like a pretty good short read. And then I had like $5 left on my gift card, so I got me some bookmarks, little hooties. If you know, you know. Shout out to Kyle Salat Sigma. The next book I got was a wild card book. My sister gave it to me. I guess she must have seen it, liked it, and thought I would like it too. So I always love when those books are given recommendations, not maybe on my radar. And it's Too Soon for Adiós by Annette Chavez Masicas. Their story starts with a goodbye. No one expects to meet their father at their mother's funeral, but for Gabby Medina, that's exactly what happens. Her dad abandoned her when she was a baby, and now he's back, and he wants to give her a home. Gabby doesn't want the house or him, but she could use the money. So Gabby agrees to take it under on two conditions. First, she can sell the house whenever she wants. And second, accepting doesn't mean she accepts him. After they strike a deal, Gabby hires a contractor in preparation for a quick sale. But as she gets to know the town and the two men in her life, she learns a lot more about herself than she ever dared to think possible. But is she ready to open herself up with the truth of what happened and the promise of what could be? Very interesting. Definitely like to know what's going on with this more. So it's going to go on my TBR. And thanks, sis. I appreciate you getting this for me for my birthday. It looks like it's going to be a good read. My last bookish gift is that of a book given wild card. My good friend Kiwi gave me this beautiful book. Not sure who needs to hear this, but by We the Urban. This is Willie Green. It says beautiful reminders for the soul. So it's this gorgeous book that's looking like it has like a lot of like affirmations, just things to like connect, and like both me and Kiwi are all on that path of like, okay, how do we better ourselves and how do we move forward? How do we stay kind and true to ourselves? So like just gorgeous book, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And it says like keep healing, keep growing, keep loving. Your intuition is the gift of the divine protection. Trust it more. Someone's mistreatment of you is not a reflection of your worth. They are projecting their past experience and traumas, which is their work to sort out, not yours. So definitely kind of like a daily affirmation book to receive. And like I said, it's so gorgeous, and it's by We the Urban. She came onto it when she was on social media, and she has been gifting it to all her girlfriends and her sisters. And so I'm so glad that you gifted this to me. Thank you so much, Kiwi. So that is my birthday book roundup. Thank you, everyone who has spent time, gave wishes, made comments. I really, really appreciate it. So now let's switch gears and get into this book that I'm reading. My current read is Kennedy Ryan's Before I Let You Go. This book has been on my shelf for 2 freaking years, and I've been talking all this crap about like I don't like romance and da 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 da. This is a romance book, and I am enjoying it, and I'm about to get into the reasons why. However, quick disclaimer, the characters in this book deal with some real life things like that of loss of loved ones and loss of a child. Um, I'm in the first 10 chapters of the book. It doesn't go into full detail if it was miscarriage or if that child was brought to life and then had passed. I'm still going to be reading. However, those sensitive topics are discussed, and if those are things that bother you, please take care of yourself as I go into what I've been currently reading thus far. Before I let you go, we meet Yasmin and Josiah. We get introduced to their love story very quickly. Um, like college love, sweethearts. He's currently in the MBA program when we first meet them, when he's real meager beginnings, love each other down. He's in the middle of like deciding what his like oh, where is it? His restaurant's going to be. And we learn very quickly, baby girl don't cook. She don't cook. And then he proposes. So you get to see like those really fun, happy things. They care for each other. Cut to first chapter. It's like, yeah, 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 all that. And then we got divorced. And you're left like, wait, what? What happened? I did not expect that that's the way this so-called love story was going to be. So Kennedy Ryan does a really great job of not giving you all so much up front. We learned that Yasmin had a huge depressive episode. Um, at first, I was reading and I was like, they have two children, Deja and Kasim. And I'm thinking maybe it's more so like postpartum, that's probably what it's leaning towards. And then we find out that it was probably postpartum and the loss of a third child that they had. But like I said, in the first 10 chapters, we don't get like whether it was a miscarriage and or whether it was a child brought to life and then unfortunately has passed. But we do get to see the effects of all of that and how it really took a toll on her mental health, on both of their mental health. Each chapter is written through the perspective of either Yasmin or Josiah so far. Um, and it is very interesting to see that although they're divorced, they're co-parent, they're trying to figure out co-parenting, they're still partners in their restaurant called Grits. It takes place in Atlanta. Like I said, they have two children, Deja, who's 13, Kasim, who's 10. Deja, I want to grip her up because baby, that smart ass mouth. But then again, the social service worker in me is like, this baby has also gone through divorce. Divorce isn't just between the partners in the relationship, it affects the children. And so she's acting out, she's a lot more sassy. Yasmin is trying to find the in between between snatching her up and gentle parenting, because she admits she doesn't want to parent like how her mother was, who was probably a little bit more physical disciplinarian. So it's so real to see that in real life, as loved ones around me are also parents who are like trying to find it and make sure that they don't do what was done to them, so to speak. So it was interesting to read that. Josiah is described as fine, fine as hell. Okay, the way she describes and is he's written in this book, he also has this like easygoing nature. They joke between each other that he's not the pushover parent, but he technically is the pushover parent. But I do like that in reading, when Deja gets out of hand, he does kind of step up and be like, "Hey, don't talk to your mom like that. Like that's not okay," and reinforces the parental structure, like doesn't allow them to get away with anything. And it's like, no matter the divide here, we are still parents and we are still the adults in charge, so you're going to act accordingly. And I really do like that writing, because he could easily be the dismissive parent, the regular Joe schmo dad that works, is hurt that the marriage was disillusioned and then dissolved. Disillusioned, did I say the right word? Anyway, you can Google it, or don't Google it. Use Yahoo or any other search engine that doesn't conform to changing and taking away ethnic uh, festivities. Eddie Hoosers. So yeah, so I like that he reinforces this, like, hey, we are still parents, we're still co-parenting this space. You're gonna respect your mom, and also speaks to the conversation of what does this look like when love, I guess, isn't enough. um there's a part in the book that also alludes to, like, Yasmin's out with some girlfriends celebrating her girlfriend Soledad's birthday, which, by the way, her girlfriends, I love it. Hendrix is a me. She says whatever comes out of her mind. And also, side note, Soledad, your husband Edward ain't shit. First 9 chapters in, and I can just see your husband ain't shit. It's giving very much primary parent. She excuses a lot of his behavior as like, oh, he's working, there's a big project, and it's like, all right, girl. So they're out for Soledad's birthday for drinks, and drinks and just to celebrate her. And Hendrix makes the comment like, Hendrix makes this comment of like, "You sure you ain't tapping your ex husband's nyami?" And she's like, "Listen, that's not what this is." She's like, "Cause he fine," and she's like, "Yeah, I know." But she alludes to like how things really did get bad, and Josiah doesn't really believe in like couples therapy, or didn't believe in couples therapy, and she goes to some point like, I don't even know if at that point couples therapy would have saved this marriage. Also, she like affectionately refers to Josiah as Sai. And why was my Puerto Rican as reading it as C? Like, why she keeps saying yes to this, but then it was like, oh, Sai, as in Josiah, like as in this is a cute little nick. Okay, got it. But yeah, my very Latina ass was like, why does she keep saying C? Is she Puerto Rican? No, no, no. I am just very, very bilingual. Muy bilingual. Yeah. So we get to this space where you're really seeing Yasmin pulling through. She's back to being a good partner in the business that her and Josiah has, and we get introduced to Vashiti is it? Anyway, that girl V. I'm gonna just call her V. She is the main chef at Grits, and she noticed some weird energy, and it's like she just can't put her finger on it as to why, like, they really didn't fully click, but she does give her props. She's a very talented chef. She really brought um them to the forefront, especially the restaurant is thriving because of Josiah's business savvy, but Aunt Palmer, or Aunt Birds, which is Josiah's aunt, had all the recipes, and she was a very prominent figure in all of this until she had passed. And there is a lot of that, like, thank God you're here, and thank God for helping. in that space. And then we find out that they're kind of seeing each other, Josiah and V, and you start to see this whole like, whoa, I thought we were okay. I thought I was okay. And like even in the book, she went to go pick up her kids and she's like hearing laughter and she like sees this family dynamic between V, Josiah, and the two kids, and they're playing Monopoly. And she's like, why is this bitch in my house? Playing, I guess like V's like on hand on Sai's knee. She's like, why is she touching my husband? And she goes, no, no, my ex-husband. Like there's constantly times of her having to autocorrect, like, oh, he's my ex-husband, he's not my husband. Also, when they speak about each other, like the way they describe, like they truly care and have love for each other, and you can tell. And there's a little, so far, a little bit of spice, and I was just like, I didn't think I was ready for all that. But either way, like it's good writing so far. And I was having this conversation with my husband last night when I was reading, and he was just like, "Oh, what it's about?" He tends to like ask a little bit of what I'm reading, and I was like, I like the book so far because it's a romance book that is dealing with a lot of real life elements, right? There's a lot of conversations of how do we navigate these storms as life throws us through or throws at us. And what do we do in turn? And also, what are the many shades of love? Like, sometimes we only think love is that of us being together, and what does love turn into when it's just mutual respect because we still have to co-parent or we still have to partner up with this business venture? How does love transcend in these other spaces? So like I said, I'm still reading. I cannot wait to finish. I also found out that this is part of a series, so I'm going to look into the other two books. But yeah, Kennedy Ryan, Before I Let Go, amazing so far. Cannot wait to finish it and have the full review. Again, thank you for spending some of your Wednesday con Wilma. If you know an Aquarius, send them love or money or both. And have a great day. Love you. Bye bye. Till next Wednesday. Besitos.